on those shows that knew about change, saying to the governor of Connecticut, look, are the representatives, you need to look at these things that work. You need to read this book. There's all the concepts are in there. Okay, when the prisoners ran Walpole, the Elam Commission, all the stuff we talked about, 30 years old. Not only that, there's been successful programs that were demonstrated it all worked.
Ran by prisoners.
Ran by prisoners. No kidding, ran by prisoners. Some still out. And sitting there. Now they call me father. Right? Yeah, right? Those programs work. But what a struggle. It could have been so much easier and with the assistance of real community people, how many more? Okay?
Well, see, the community's hoodwinked. And part of that's our problem, too, by not educating the community. And say, listen, this is what's really going on. You know, politicians, you always say, oh, we're going to have a study. We're going to spend X amount of dollars to do this study. And we do the study, we do the study, we do the study, we do the study. And what's happening? Where's this study money going? You know, follow the money. It's a joke. We don't need studies.
You got plenty of them already.
We know when you read this book, all right, keep this in mind when you're reading this book. We're talking over 30 years ago what the National Institution of Correction is talking about today. We were doing it over 30 years ago.
Successfully.
Yeah, but we threatened. See, and when you read this book, you'll see it. We threatened the Guards Union. We threatened the Department of Corrections job security.
Oh, absolutely.
We became a threat to them, so they had to attack us. And when you read the devious, vicious ways that they were attacking and the games that were played, you will be shocked. This book is a good eye-opener to what the reality of prison really is. I mean, it's a historical document. It is well worth reading. Every prison across the country follows this same pattern because that's what prisons are about. They're not about rehabilitation. They're about job security.
And again,
the guards have vested interest in getting their cousins, aunts, brothers jobs in the system.
And again, this isn't theory. I mean, this is what I want to keep saying. This isn't theory. This isn't somebody. These are things that happen. These are things that are done. These are things that are worked. They're concrete. You know, it's not something. Oh, this might happen. All right. This is what was going on. This is what goes on. And that's why people need to look at it, especially for the safety and security of our community.
Absolutely.
That is what this is about. We're talking about your security. We're talking about keeping people out of your homes. We don't need any more home invasions. Nobody needs to bleed. You know, we need to change this around. New London definitely something needs to happen here. People are coming out and they need to be supported. Jobs need to happen. There has to be a cleanup happen. We got a governor, I believe that she's strong enough to do something here. Massachusetts, I hope that you have the same there.
Well, the proof is in the pudding. We haven't tasted the pudding yet. So, you know, it's a wait-and-see concept. The problem is, as you'll see in this book, the politics is deeply embedded into corrupt practices. That's the big problem. And the only thing that really cures that, like people say, oh, we got to make the politics. Listen, it's the community. You put them in office. You have an obligation to understand why the correctional systems aren't working and how the correctional systems are capable of working. We have to get out of the business of prisons. And we get out of the business of prisons by rehabilitating prisoners. You rehabilitate prisoners, you need fewer and fewer guards, you need fewer and fewer prisons. This is how you abolish prisons. It's a slow process to be sure, but it's a workable. You make law-abiding, productive citizens. That's being smart on crime. That's public safety.
It looks like this is going to be the year of change. You know, the stuff is going on in the prison. The stuff's out on the national election. There's a talk about community, huh? The winds of change hopefully are going to come about.
Well, the thing is, they went so far. They've spent over $60 billion in the past 15 years building new prisons. The federal government shifted into the Iraqi and Afghan war, pulled the money away from the states. The states have their own responsibility of paying these ways, and guess what? They can't afford prisons. Now they see that, listen, the guards want more and more and more and more pay. And your recidivism rate is going up, 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 up. How long do you think you can do that? And this is what the National Institution of Corrections has done the about face, is it doesn't work. Getting tough on crime didn't work. It put the crime rate up. And the shame is that the amazing thing is when this shift to getting tough on crime came in, it came in while the crime rate was going down.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was just mind-boggling.
Right, and they turned around instantly to build new prisons. They were talking about getting rid of them, moving out, big business, community corrections. You know, we did one of the first alternatives with the judge system where people didn't go. Took some of the worst people, put them in that halfway house system under, with ex-offenders that knew what was going on, hooked them up with jobs. They didn't return. Lots of things were really going on. Wonderful concepts.
You hire ex-offenders to participate in the rehabilitative programs. The jobs. These guys need jobs. There's the jobs that you can give them that are productive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's public safety. That's being smart on crime.
I'd like to be paid the way you said it. Pay me for my for the outcome that I put out.
Absolutely.
Right? Pay me. Don't tell me. Give me my pay raise at how many people I keep out and how many people we can. But the community's got to work. This is not something. This is what I tell all the time. This is not a lone stranger thing. You need everybody involved.
Give me a halfway house out in the suburbs.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Let me have about 50 people. The recidivism rate's based basically on a 3-year period.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
If my 50 people in that 3-year period, the higher percentage, the recidivism rate is kept extremely low, then that's the program you fund. If I have a 68% recidivism rate,
close me down.
Close me down.
Close me down. That's right. Close me down. If I can't do under 50%, you got to be kidding me. I shouldn't be in a job.
Should be way under 50%.
Should way under 50%. Well, Ease was 87. That was over 3 years. LEA was a model for the country. Thank God to Songus, who helped us and was one of the supporters. Thank God we had Governor Sargent in those days who stood up and everything. We were able to do that. Thank God for the guys that actually was developed in and founded when he was the founder. Winford Russell was the founder of that we could do with. But we had everybody hooked up. National Alliance of Businessmen, all the community, all concerned.
But what was
winning? We had tough guys, huh?
What was winning?
He was an ex-offender. He was a convict. It was a brother.
Why did it work?
Why did it work? He was a brother. We graduated the same school. That's what exactly.
He understood the problem.
Yes.
And he knew how to deal with the solution.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
And that's what we're saying here, is that the National Institution of Corrections should be getting more and more involved with the ex-offender. I mean, they give, right now, is when you read their mission statements and stuff, I mean, they include the ex-offender, but in practice, they really don't.
Well, when they used to do the investigations of the thing, there were certain people that they talked to in the prison. They weren't going to be talking to you and I till we opened up. You know what I mean? Remember when they
ACA goes into Walpole Prison?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Auditing the prison.
They ain't talking to you.
You don't talk to prisoners.
No, you don't. Right.
So how do you know what the food, medical situation, and goon squad situation is in that environment? And you certify this prison.
Right.
That's fraud.
Exactly. And they've done it for years.
Yeah, and that's why the National Institution of Corrections should say no. There should be a format, policy of going in and talking to all the participants in prison and taking all the information, putting it on the table, and analyzing it and saying whether this is functional or not.
Well, you could do like the Observer program. It's very easy to organize and have real community people going in there doing
Absolutely.
interview, and those